Welcome everybody, I'm John Wally, and today we're going to be jumping into Tenable OT and how to do upgrades on the system from port 8000. So let's go ahead and jump in. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is jump over to port 8000, or what we call the cockpit. I want to make sure that I'm in administrative access. You'll see here at the top of the screen. If this has a yellow button there saying that we don't have administrative access, we're going to want to click that and log in. And all that means is you have to put in your password again to make sure that we have full administrative access. What you'll notice in the middle of our screen when we're on the Overview tab is that we have 71 updates available. Now, a lot of people will jump into this and they'll say, great, we can upgrade our version of Tenable OT. So they'll click on Tenable OT Security, and what you'll notice is my RPM version and my application version actually match. So it looks like there's no update available. But we saw an overview that we do have an update available. So what do? So if I go to Overview, what you're going to notice, again, I'm going to draw your attention to 71 updates. So what does that mean? Well, if I click this, or if I go to Update Management, it's going to take me to the Update Management tab. Over in the update status, what you'll see is the same 71 updates. We'll also see that we checked 3 hours ago. Now, if you're working in an offline environment, if you're in an environment that, let's say, you're air-gapped, or you have a diode or a firewall in place, or multiple firewalls in place where you cannot download automated updates, that's okay. You'll go out to the Tenable site, download the latest version of that offline ISO, and you can click the file here to upload that ISO. When you upload that, it's going to tell you what updates are available. So just like we see here, the 71 updates, you'll upload this and you'll see all the packages that are available. And we'll see that we have version 4.5.54. Now, if you remember, when we went to Tenable OT, we see that we're on 4.4.45. So we know that we have a version that's waiting with us as a part of that update management. So what I can do is I can go through and say, okay, so I have 4.5.54, and I want to go over to my Tenable documentation. So you can get there by going to docs.tenable.com. I'm going to go down to Tenable OT Security. And what you'll see is that's in alignment with what we're reading in our notes. So we have version 4.5.54 that was released on December 18th. So I'm going to go look at this, and I can click into this and it will show me that everything that update has within it. So those 71 files could actually be a lot of things. So we have a service pack that we had since then, it looks like. We have the actual update itself, and we have any new features, improvements that were in there, any new content, updates, bug fixes. So you can research, is this an update that I want to go through? Let's say it is, and we want to move forward. I'm going to go back to Update Management. I'm going to scroll up a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and install updates. Now, this will take several minutes, so I'll move us through this video a little bit faster. You can expect about 15 minutes for all the updates to install. All right, it looks like our updates have completed, but I want to draw your attention to this, and this happens from time to time. You're going to see that there was an error checking for updates. It failed. Well, one of the reasons it's failed is because now we need to go through a reboot for everything to work. You'll see a message at the top of the screen that tells us that we have to reboot. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go up to our overview and we're going to select reboot. We'll tell it that we wanted to do it with no delay, and we're going to go ahead and hit reboot here. During this part, you can just be patient. The system takes usually between 3 and 6 minutes to reboot. You can check every once in a while if it's back up by hitting the reconnect. It looks like the system is back up and we're able to log in. So I'm going to log in. And now you'll see our error messages are gone. I'm going to go back to Update Management. We're going to go ahead and see if we can get rid of this by saying install updates again. One of the reasons you see this is because there were multiple versions to update. So what it did is it went through, it put all the core files in there. We had to reboot, and then we had to continue the installation. This is normal behavior. We're going to have to go through phases. This is probably the only other time we'll have to do it, but then there's times when you have to do this 2 or 3 times because it goes through the progression of updates. All right, and it looks like we're set. Now we didn't get the error message anymore. It's showing updates installed. If we scroll down, we'll see the system update history now is showing that everything's installed instead of saying that we have pending updates. So we should be good to go. Again, we're talking about this RPM version versus like where we're currently at the application. Just because we did the updates doesn't mean we've upgraded to the latest version of the application. So the next thing we need to do is go up to Tenable OT Security, and now you'll see the difference. We see that we have an RPM version of 4.5.54, but we're actually on version 4.4.45 right now. So we need to update our version, not just all of our other files that we just did. So to do that, we're simply going to click the blue icon. We're going to say upgrade Tenable OT Security. It's going to ask us, do we want to upgrade? We're going to say yes, upgrade Tenable OT Security again. And what you'll see is it's going to bring Tenable OT down. It's not, nobody's going to be able to access it when that's happening. And this is an important note. So if you're in a fully operational environment, this takes a little bit of time. And so that means that the system's going to be completely offline during this upgrade process. If you want to follow along with what's happening, you can go down to logs and it'll show you the installation and upgrade process. Don't be alarmed if this takes a little bit of time. You'll see our current upgrade, or the last time that we started and ran this, was actually on December 9th. So that's a long time. That was over almost 2 months ago for us. What you'll see is it'll take about a minute or 2 minutes before it starts rolling. But now you'll see we're on January 30th. So now that install is started. What happened on the back end is we had to shut stuff down. We had to make sure everything was running, that the databases were in their proper state to start doing the upgrades. All right, so it looks like our upgrade is just about wrapped up. The way you'll know is you'll get the first message in your log saying starting Tenable OT. All the messages at the top will go away, the banner saying that you're not going to have access and all of that, and your screen will be fairly clean. Now, don't be surprised if it takes another 2, 3, 4 minutes before you can actually log into the box. One of the reasons why is all your containers are starting to start up, everything's syncing up, all your plugins are getting aligned. So it takes a little bit from the initial startup to the full boot of the system. So the next thing we can do is jump over to the front end or the interface and make sure that the system is up and running. We can log in and it's functioning correctly. For that, I'm going to go ahead and click on URLs. And it looks like our system is up. I'm going to log in. And just make sure that our system is good to go. If I go down and look at the bottom, you'll see that we're now on version 4.5.54, which is excellent. You see, I got this little new, like, hey, take a tour of what's new in the latest enhancements. You can do that at your earliest convenience, I guess, to kind of learn what's new in the system. But then you will also see, now that we've updated the system, our sensors are actually on a different version because we've updated the ICP, but now we see that the sensors are somewhere else. I can go through and update sensors remotely. I don't even have to log into them. I don't have to go into the port 8000. I don't have to do updates. I can easily just go to the area where I have my sensors. So I'm going to go to data collection. I'm going to go to data sources, and I can see my sensor. And the first thing you'll notice here is that we're on the old version, the 4.4.45. I can go and say I want to check for updates, or I can right click and I can say I want to update the sensor. Now this can take anywhere between 10-15 minutes all the way up to 24 hours. So when you click update, don't expect this to happen immediately. It depends on your network, how it's set up, how things are configured, if you have any scans running at the time. So it's going to do that when that sensor has cycles to go through that. The other thing that will happen is you want to make sure on your sensor that when you're setting it up, you've checked the box that says allow automatic updates. I'm going to show you this in the portion of the ICP, but it's the same thing in the sensor where you see automatically reboot after updates when needed. You notice when we're going through this process, we needed a reboot to complete those installs. By checking this box, it'll make it so the sensor can automatically do that, but you'll have to do that on the sensor side. So I'm going to go back to the front end and I'm going to click Update. It's going to tell me during the update process the sensor may not be available, but that's okay. And we're going to hit Update. So what you'll see is this sensor is in the process of updating. Like I said, you're not going to see it immediately. Give it a day or to 24 hours, and little by little, it will update as this goes through. Thank you for everybody for joining the channel. If this has been helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see updates. We're going to be doing a lot more of these now. The channel's becoming more active. We wanted to catch up on updates in Tenable OT Security. Our next videos are going to be around Ember. We're going to be talking about integrations and how these tools work together. Until next time, have a great day.